Hello! So today I'm in South Wales at the Llangattock Escarpment, which you can see behind me. In which there are a series of caves. So today I've decided to do one called Eglwys Faen, which, forgive my rubbish Welsh. So unfortunately all my proper caving kit is down in Somerset at Peters, so I'm kitted out with my horse riding hat and some waterproofs. But I'm going to give it a go and see how we get on here in Llangattock Escarpment, Eglwys Faen Cave. So here I am at the entrance to Eglwys Faen Cave, down there. So I've got a little survey to do the so-called easy bits today without any abseiling or ladder work. So let's go in and see how it is. So this is the back of the main chamber in Eglwys Faen. There's a bat. We won't bother them. I've just come through the main entrance over there, through the big main chamber. And now I'm going a bit of a crawl, squeeze through there. So I've just crawled through that, or maybe about 10-metre crawl. That was a bit ugh. But anyway, this is quite a well trodden cave, so you can see the floor's a bit muddy. And now we're carrying on into this inner chamber of Eglwys Faen Cave. Crawling through this bit, I've come across another small phreatic tube in the roof, which is apparently known as an avon, kind of like a chimney formed the same way a stream passage is formed with the water eroding the limestone. So now I've emerged into the inner chamber, which you can tell is a stream passage. You can see the sculpting of an initial phreatic tube that had formed this, and then where that boulder choke is, it would have continued on, and now you can also see another bit of a tube there in the ceiling, another one of those avons. Just coming back out from the inner chamber, I noticed this little bit of style on the wall, which has come down from a phreatic tube. So this is a very muddy cave, but you can still see there's a little bit of style formation there, though it is quite covered in mud. Having come back into the main chamber from the inner chamber, having ended at the ladder which goes up to the upper warren, but I'm not doing that bit today. But this is called the Western Series, and it's a stream passage. So we're going to have a wander down here and see what we can find following the stream. So I'm heading in the Western Series following the stream passage, and I end up in this area where there's a bit of collapse and it's a little bit twinkly. There's no formations in here yet, but they could be forming. There's tiny little drips starting. Alright, back from the main chamber, we're heading through this passage called the Eastern Series, and there's a few different ways you can come out. There's some crawls and squeezes and a bit of a climb to get out of the waterfall, and then apparently if we go another way we can get out at what's called the oval entrance. So I think that's the way we'll aim for. So cracking on in Eglwys Faen Cave. So entering the eastern set of passages, you can see a bit of style forming. This is actually how it forms, through drips and dribbles of water, collecting minerals in the limestone, and then adhering to the walls or ceilings or floor, depending on the cave. So cracking on along this passage. So having gone in the eastern passage, come to a junction. Now that way apparently goes through some squeezes and a climb and some crawls and emerges at the waterfall. So I don't think we'll go that way today, since I don't have Peter with me to guide me. That way goes to an avon that reaches the surface. So I don't know if you can see in daylight, that's where all the water's coming from. And there are also some cave spiders living in here, doing their cave spider thing. What's neat about this kind of cave is that you can really see the effects of the water action on how the cave was formed. You can see the scalloping there. You can see the water working its way around the cave nowadays, picking up minerals, eroding the rock. You can really see this is an obvious stream passage. You can see the scalloping on the walls and the ceilings, and there's a cave spider. And you can really see what the water has done to carve its way through the rock of this cave. And we're cracking on through there. So I've just emerged out of that hole called the Oval Entrance, out of Eglwys Faen Cave, after having come through the Eastern Passage. So yeah, did this one. It's very interesting. It's a nice cave to have a bit of a mooch about in. But yeah, good day in a muddy cave in South Wales.